7 questions about the Japan radiation scare. The radiation from Japan's energy plants has everybody stressed over the potential overall well-being sway. Here, beat atomic vitality and radiation specialists clarify why you shouldn't freeze. As flames and blasts proceed at Japan's Fukushima Daiichi atomic complex, nervousness about radiation infection mounts, including whether the fiasco will eventually influence the United States. Another blast Tuesday morning was the third in 4 days at the plant, provoking Prime Minister Naoto Kan to energize natives inside around 20 miles of the Fukushima complex to stay inside to keep away from presentation to radiation. As anyone might expect, Japan's catastrophe has resuscitated terrifying recollections of atomic emergencies at Chernobyl in 1986 and 3 Mile Island in 1979, yet in all actuality each of the three were altogether different occasions. Also, because of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl, atomic power plants today have embraced more stringent well-being measures and reinforcement regulation projects. Remember that when 3 Mile Island liquefied down, there was no spontaneous arrival of radiation, and there were no passings from radiation, says Jeff Juther, atomic reactor office chief at Kansas State University. Individuals have a tendency to get terrified by dangers of radiation, yet so far the levels recognized outside of the quick region of the Fukushima control plant are not viewed as unsafe. Related, does your family have an emergency plan? As per news reports, authorities in Tokyo around 150 miles south of the Fukushima Daiichi atomic reactors said radiation there was 10 times the standard level, yet at the same time represented no risk to human well-being. So exactly how worried about radiation harming would it be advisable for you to be? Regular Health took your top inquiries to specialists for answers. 1. Should West Coasters stress over radiation affliction? Occupants of Hawaii, the U.S. domains, Alaska, and Washington, Oregon, and California should remain quiet, specialists say. Those reached by MedPage Today, a sister organization of Everyday Health, generally concurred that while radioactive particles will in the long run achieve the United States, the levels will be too low to affect individuals' well-being. You need to consider various variables, as indicated by Tom Hay, Ph.D., Associate Director of the Center for Radiological Research at Columbia University Medical Center in New York, in a meeting with Everyday Health. How much radiation is being discharged into the climate, the course of the breeze current, which mixes are being discharged, and their half-life, the measure of time it takes them to rot. From what we've heard up until now, the radioactivity distinguished in Japan has been insignificant. That is on the ground that, gratefully, the arrival of radioactive particles is by all accounts kept to regulation structures to the Japanese plant. To additionally place things in context, remember that when the United States tried atomic and hydrogen bombs in the Pacific Ocean and dropped nuclear bombs in Japan amid World War II, they discharged significantly more radiation than these Japanese control plants could ever verge on discharging, and everything scattered in the climate, in any event from the point of view of any well-being suggestions in the U.S., said James Thrall, M.D., radiologist and boss at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston and leader of the American College of Radiology, in a meeting with MedPage Today. 2. Are there any long-haul dangers from the radiation spillage? While intense radiation infection is at present not a danger to individuals other than Fukushima specialists or the individuals who live in nearness to the plant, the radiation spillage may have long-haul well-being suggestions. After a substantial hole, around 75% of the radiation in the end winds up in the ground and water supply close by, which implies it can pollute vegetation, domesticated animals, and dairy animals' drain, says Leslie M. Beich, M.D., Chief of the Center for Medicine and Public Health at Florida State University College of Medicine in Tallahassee. As individuals ingest tainted nourishment and water, their long-haul chance for thyroid and different growths, for example, leukemia, increments. Thyroid disease can take 8 to 12 years to create after radiation presentation, as per the American Thyroid Association. Leukemia can strike inside a couple of years, as indicated by the American Cancer Society. The rest of the 25% of the spilled radiation can remain in the environment for expanded time frames, contingent upon molecule estimate. In the event that happens, it becomes a worldwide concern, in light of the fact that once these particles achieve the upper climate, they can spread all over the place, says Dr. Beich. It's a potential hazard, however a little one now. In any case, the radioactive particles would be so broadly scattered that the danger of presentation to any one individual is amazingly minor. Beich includes 3. Who's most at chance from radiation presentation? Hatchlings, babies, and little kids confront the best potential mischief from radiation. That is on the grounds that radiation causes harm by transforming DNA in cells, which can prompt malignancy. Since youthful youngsters' cells separate at a considerably speedier rate than those of grown-ups, they confront conceivably more genuine long-haul medical problems, including neurological issues and in addition disease. 4. What are the manifestations of radiation infection? While intense radiation ailment is to a great degree not at all like to influence any individual who lives outside a little range of the Japanese atomic complex, indications incorporate sickness, regurgitating, and looseness of the bowels. Without restorative mediation, intense radiation infection can prompt demise. In any case, remember that you wouldn't encounter intense radiation infection without realizing that you were uncovered. The radiation originating from the reactors is being checked. In the event that levels get to a point where they can influence individuals far away, experts will tell you about it, says Kansas State's Jother. After Chernobyl, individuals attributed side effects to radiation infection that were really not because of the emissions. Individuals, particularly here in the United States, should remain quiet. The individuals who think they've been uncovered, for example, Japanese plant specialists or close-by inhabitants, ought to go to a noteworthy restorative focus to be disinfected. Essentially expelling garments and shoes can dispose of 90% of outside tainting, as indicated by the Mayo Clinic. Washing with cleanser and water additionally takes out radiation from the skin. Related when disaster strikes. Promote treatment relies upon the sort of radiation you've been presented to. Potassium iodide tablets can check the impacts of radioactive iodine and help bring down the danger of thyroid malignancy. The iodine tablets keep radioactive iodine from gathering in the thyroid. Different medications incorporate Prussian blue, which ties to and dispenses with radioactive particles cesium and thallium, and diethyllenitrimene pentaacetic corrosive DTPA, which ties to metals, for example, plutonium, americium and curium. These two medications help the body to discharge the radioactive material, accordingly diminishing its retention by cells. 5. Would it be a good idea for me to stock up on potassium iodide in any case to be sheltered? Frightened Americans are making or keep running on provisions of potassium iodide tablets, as indicated by a Wall Street Journal report. Truth be told, Anbix, a noteworthy provider, has as of now come up short on its supply of 10,014 tablet bundles. Be that as it may, specialists say these panicky buys are pointless. In the event that you live near a power plant that is softening down, the hazard is genuine, not hypothetical, says Beich. For whatever remains of us, unless something colossal and sensational happens, the danger of noteworthy radiation introduction is tiny. Potassium iodide pills are accessible over the counter, yet Americans ought not take them preventively, Beich says. A few people may not prepare potassium iodide well. Reactions incorporate queasiness, heaving, and looseness of the bowels, and for individuals with certain medical problems, for example, kidney infection, the pills can accomplish more mischief than great. 6. Would it be a good idea for me to be concerned in the event that I live almost an atomic power plant in the United States? It's normal to feel frightened that a comparable atomic glitch could occur here, however specialists say it's very improbable. Americans who live close power reactors should feel secure, considering that no nationals have passed on from U.S. business atomic power generation, which is 50 years old industry, says Jother. All atomic power plants must have crisis designs set up, lead occasional bores, and give out enlightening writing to inhabitants in a potential crisis zone. On the off chance that you do live close to an atomic plant, you should know where to go and what to do in case of a crisis. In case you don't know, contact your neighborhood control plant or government for data. Note likewise that the circumstance in Japan was the consequence of unprecedented conditions happening all the while. 3 things turned out badly: the seismic tremor, the tidal wave, and the disappointment of the reinforcement control framework, as per Beich. It was an impeccable tempest, and there's a slim chance such omissions could ever happen in this correct way again. Includes other, American atomic power is not any more hazardous now than it was 7 days back. Because of Chernobyl, we took in a great deal of things and added extra well-being components to our energy plants. In addition, the U.S. Atomic Regulatory Commission (NRC) will be taking a gander at enhancing control and power reinforcements, says Beich. The U.S. atomic industry will additionally gain from Japan and grow all the more designing arrangements. 7. So, are U.S. atomic power plants truly arranged to climate seismic tremors and catastrophic events? Yes, however a few specialists believe that it's impractical for atomic power plants to get ready for each conceivable cataclysmic event situation. As indicated by data assembled by MedPage today, the NRC says plants must be intended to withstand the most extreme regular marvels truly announced for the site and encompassing a